One of the central paradigms this channel revolves around is carryover. Carryover means that everything we do has many effects and that it is generally a good idea to optimize for the positive side effects of the habits we try to cultivate and not just the main effect. Until now, we mainly discussed what carryover occurs, but not why carryover is even a thing. And today we change that and analyze why so many positive habits have way more than one good effect to be expected. And as I have explained in the past, carryover is based on both physical and mental adaptations to your surroundings and to your social surroundings. And the human body and the human mind can only really adapt in very general ways. Any adaptation to anything very specific would soon be meaningless. Just imagine some scenario in which your mind or your body adapted to something that is only there for a very short time. Those adaptations would be meaningless in the next generation, and now we have a problem. We have a useless adaptation that, well, quite literally costs us energy, and the human energy conservation drive hates those things and avoids them at pretty much all cost. And thus, both mind and body created mechanisms that generalize to a degree. Also, anything that is rather general has usually more than one effect. That is the nature of generalization. And a good example would be strength training. Apart from simply lifting a barbell, if you choose to lift, you obviously also get stronger at many other, activities that require big muscles or strong muscles. And as an example, a conventional deadlift will also make you stronger at a sumo deadlift variation and vice versa. Strength is a general skill. And it is not only limited to that. Strength training also benefits all kinds of different mental qualities like discipline and willpower and even confidence. And in an evolutionary context, all those things usually occur together. That's why our body creates them at the same time. It generalized. It assumes that many of the activities we do also require other things because they always occurred together in an evolutionary context. And the entire process is even more obvious when it comes to the human mind. Pretty much everything we do is also a learning process, as we always use our brain to do it. And we use the same brain to learn whatever we do. Even very physical seeming activities like lifting are heavily influenced by our brain's functions. And the brain doesn't really distinguish between different kinds of activities. In the end, it all boils down to neuronal activity, and when you combine it with an energy conservation drive, or the brain's tendency to spend as little energy as possible, it incentivizes the brain to reuse existing structures in many ways. And when asked what would be the king of the senses, the Buddha answered that it is the mind. Everything we perceive through the five senses gets passed on to the mind for further processing. It makes sense that well-organized mental processes work in more than one situations. When further asked what would be the king of the mind, the Buddha answered mindfulness. And that makes sense too. Mindfulness is a process that takes mental activity as an input, and mindfulness can have unbelievable carryover. It might be the most general process of them all. It is truly the king of all positive qualities. It allows you to detect the things that were previously undetected and many more things. Okay, but let us now come to the most important points. Carryover means that most things have many effects. That is due to our evolutionary nature and our energy conservation drive. Combined, they enforce abstraction or generalizations, the tendency of our brain to reuse existing neuronal structures for multiple purposes. And some things just always occurred together in an evolutionary context, and thus our body reacts by doing multiple things at once. Due to carryover, it is thus possible to achieve multiple goals at once. And when choosing a new skill or a new habit, try to also think of potential carryover and positive and possible side effects. It can save you a lot of time in the future when you try to cultivate subsequent habits. When you already prepared in part for them, you can save tons of time for the second skill you try to develop. Okay, and that is pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content and found it helpful, please leave the video a thumbs up so I know to produce more of this style of content in the future. However, as always, if you feel like I missed something or misrepresented something, please let me know in the comment section so that other people, and especially I, can benefit from your wisdom and correct my mistakes in the future. Okay, but until then, I wish you a pleasant day and goodbye.